So, hello there, and sorry I've been out of the loop for a while. Long story, but I cut back, and there are so many things on my desk that, I never just really quite get to. And you get so much stuff like this. Elon Musk's boring co-loop will crush subways in throughput and convenience. And look at these beautiful, see through, futuristic things that only exist in computer graphics. Where they will go, they know to the mile per hour how fast they will go. 120 miles per hour, which is weird because this thing looks kind of like one of those sort of relatively low speed rails that they commonly have in airports. They can't accelerate or decelerate too quick because otherwise they just knock people over. Uh, look, her case is just sat there. If this thing accelerates quickly, everything will just slide to the back in fairly short order. And this sort of was followed fairly quickly by this guy, which is Las Vegas approves 50 million contract with Elon Musk's Boring Company. So they're actually going to build one of Elon Musk's super high velocity tunnels. The one that started off with this futuristic vision and ended up with them just driving a Tesla down a tube. Anyway, let's ignore all that for a moment. They're going to build a people mover. They can build, they can dig the tunnels. They don't really have any people movers yet, but whatever. We'll we'll leave that for later. Anyway, so it's 50 million. We don't tell us how long it is. Uh, so if you actually look around, say a good place to go here would be the Boring Company website. They've got to tell us how long this thing is. And the interesting thing, so let's do that. Let's do a search for miles on. That's odd. They've got a nice little picture of how long it is, but the only mention of miles in the entire article is how fast it's going to go. And look, it's up to 155 miles per hour now from 124. It just goes up and gets better and better. Anyway, but they have a map with no scale on it whatsoever. That's kind of bizarre. I wonder how long it is. So if you actually go to Google and pull up LA, so this is roughly where it's going to start. This is roughly the middle. This is roughly the end, and you find out that the thing is actually only about, where are we? Yeah, cycling half of it will take you about 4 minutes and is about half a mile. So the whole thing here is only about a mile long. At which point you might be thinking, hang on, Elon Musk was promising to build these things hundreds of times cheaper. He was going to build them for $2 million per mile, or was it $1 million per mile? I can't remember which. And now he's up to $50 million per mile. And that's probably only just the start. After all, he's kind of reinventing the subway from scratch. So he's going to have this. And let's take a look at his map. Where's his map? That's right, it's on the Boring Company, isn't it? There we go. So there's his map. He's going to have 1, 2, 3 stops, arguably 4 stops on his 1 mile tunnel. This is an absolutely minuscule system. Anyway, so let's be generous and say that these long runs here are about 1 kilometer apart. This one's going to be much shorter. This is anyway. So if you want to go 1 kilometer and you want to accelerate up to 155 miles per hour and then slow down again, you've got to accelerate up to the maximum speed in the middle. That's basically the minimum time you have for acceleration. Well, those are fairly easy calculations to do. So it turns out if you want actually a sensible metro where you can just sit down and your bags don't fall over when everything accelerates and whatever, people know that because that's what a regular metro does, right? If you go much faster than a regular metro, the old people fall over and they break their hips and the suitcases slide all the way down to the end of the carriage and people fall over and all that sort of thing, right? So typically, the maximum acceleration that you get in the subway is about 1 meter per second squared. So this is how long, this is the time in seconds, this is your velocity. So at 1 meter per second squared acceleration, after 1 second, you're going a meter per second, 2 seconds, 2 meters per second, three, and so forth. Right, so this would be for a regular metro. Now, if you don't like those meter per second velocities, those meters per second, here you've got the velocity in miles per hour and kilometers per hour. So after 30 seconds, you've traveled about half a kilometer. You're up to maximum speed, and it's time to slow down again. And your velocity is about 70 miles per hour. In principle, they don't bother really accelerating up this fast for a variety of reasons. Anyway, but let's just say they did. So this is regular subway accelerations. Takes you, a minute to get up to maximum speed. Then it's time to slow down again. And that's only 70 miles per hour. So how fast do we actually have to accelerate to get up to 155 miles per hour in about 500 meters? Turns out it's about 5 meters per second squared. So this is 5 times the most comfortable acceleration that you can get in a metro, which also turns out to be sports car type accelerations. So for those who are car guys out there, you're doing 0 to 60 in about 6 seconds. Good luck standing up during that, or just all these people will be no one will be able to sit down like this doing 0 to 60 in 6 seconds. You'll need to hold on for dear life. Even a decent sports car seat, it would be a bit of a challenge. But that means that you accelerate up to your maximum speed of 155 miles per hour in about 15 seconds, give or take, and you already covered your half kilometer, which is your midpoint in your journey, so it's time to slow down again. So the journey time using this sports car acceleration is 30 seconds. 30 seconds to get up to maximum speed of 155 miles per hour, and then it's time to slow down again. Meanwhile, if you actually have the subway type accelerations, you cover that distance in about in 30 seconds. So it's time to slow down again after 30 seconds, which means your journey time is a minute. So if you've got sports car accelerations, you only halve your journey time on these very short trips that they've got here. These incredibly short legs. Meanwhile, this one is even this one is so ludicrously short. There's going to be no difference between basically regular metro and anything Elon Musk might want to put in it. Plus, the minor technical thing that no one's actually seen one of these things yet. They don't exist. And why hasn't Elon Musk made one of these and shown how wonderful it is going through his test tunnel at his SpaceX headquarters? And I can tell you why. Because you basically need sports seats all the way down, and at that point you spend more time just getting on and off the thing than you actually do in transit. Bear in mind, you increase it to sports car accelerations. That means that you've got to fill this thing up with people once it's stopped. This is one of the reasons why metros look the way they do. Is they're long trains, and you can get lots of people on and off at the same time, which you won't be able to do with this, because you're only going to be able to get on, few dozen people at a time. Plus, if you've got lots of cars, any one of them breaks down, whole system is clogged, can't do anything with it. If you've got fewer trains, there's fewer mechanical points of failure. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did, hit the subscribe button. And it's good to be back.